Hey y'all, it is April the 22nd, 2020, 2024, and I just wanted to say I apologize for being a little bit late. A little bit late right now. Couldn't help it. Had a lot of things in my way, obstacles, had to alleviate them, had to eliminate them. Got the machete. You can see it's clean, hasn't been used, all right? I'm promoting peace, buddy. Peace out there to whoever um, might straggle in here either before or after the recording. Either way, I appreciate you. I love you. It's WW3, all right? Don't be mistaken. And I've said it before. I'm not the first person to say it. But however, I get the feeling that it's going to be it's going to be something that dawns on people for many, many years to come. We're already in it. WW3. Pretty dang exciting, I guess you'd say. All right. I mean, it's hardly ever a dull moment. All right. I want to talk about some of the goings-ons and the behind-the-scenes details and stuff with y'all a little bit later. A little bit here at the end of this here broadcast, but as the title has implied, for those people who come in very interested, and a man by the name of, I forget what it is, Pascal Najadi. I don't even know what the hell that is, man. Ethnicity. Pascal Najadi. You never heard of this person. I never heard of this person either, as well. But earlier, my man, all right, a general in the field, calling shots and naming names, Alex Jones, over there on Infowars.com band.video. Every day, all right? If you don't know, well, now you know. Every day, slinging that hot fire, that hot yoga fire. All right, I see somebody up in the building. Listen, I just wanted to talk about this Alex Jones interview that happened only today. And, I got the audio kind of sort of queued up for, your listening enjoyment, for example. Let me play it right now and see if it plays.
They're both the shadow. Yeah, Pascal, Najadi, I got to say this. Your dad was a found.
See, I got audio going. And it sounds pretty good. I just, I can never trust this speaker. And I got to be very careful with it, all right? So that it doesn't bust out your eardrum. And I hope that it doesn't. I hope nobody's wearing headphones. I know I got terrible audio, all right? However, all this stuff's going to get resolved in due time. I'm going to have better audio. You'll be able to see my background a little bit better. I'll be able to back up a little bit, that kind of thing. But, sometimes you got to pull the, what people say, trigger. Can you say that? I mean it metaphorically. And you got to go on when it's time to go on live. You got to go on live, buddy. You got to stream. Get the need to stream. All right. And they can't just wait for some reasonably professional microphone, all right, to magically appear in my possession. Relying on the internal microphone, but we're going to work on that. We're going to work on that. I want to talk to you about that after this fact, because this is, the theme of the live stream. It's actually pretty dang important, even though this person, I'm sure that you never heard of. I've never ever heard of this person. It actually is kind of important, and it was wild too. I gotta say, there's been a time or two, from time to time, sometimes. Alex Jones, he gets flustered all by himself. Everybody knows that, right? But from time to time, Alex Jones will get a guest on his show to really, really, really get him all flustered. All right. And I know a lot of people might remember, one of the most popular probably events was the Yay incident. Remember when Yay came on? If you hadn't seen that, you really haven't lived in this world. When Ye came on to the Alex Jones show, along with Nick Fuentes, by the way. Shout out to Nick Fuentes, a legend in the game. I'm not afraid to admit, Nick Fuentes, quite legendary. So Alex Jones actually had that sort of a kind of a guest on today. Now I was listening to it. I was listening to the entire Alex Jones show. I heard a lot of it. I also heard our man Gerald Salente. All right. And I'm not going to play Gerald Salente right now. But if you happen to be in this building right now, or if you happen to come across this recording and you don't know who Gerald Salente is, and you're slipping and tripping because he's an OG, he's a triple OG, all right? And, he's a warrior for peace as well. And my man gets hot under the collar. I mean, real hot. I mean, he talks. If you ever think that I talk trash, no, I don't. No, I don't. But anyways, so Alex Jones, he had an interview with this guy, and I'm gonna go ahead and play like the juiciest part, because over there on Band.video, where you can find everything scintillating regarding Alex Jones or any of the crew, he's already got it lined up, edited up, produced up, real nice. This clip. And it starts off, because it's a long clip, and I'm not going to play all of it, but it is a long clip. I think it's about 50 minutes in total, because this interview was pretty much the bulk of an hour. You know how, like, basically you break it up into hour segment on a show like Alex Jones. He had this guy on for a whole hour almost. And I gotta say, like, this guy who I'd never heard of, Pascal, Najadi. I'm sure you never heard of him. He was saying stuff, and throughout the interview, I couldn't help but think, wow, this stuff is mad interesting. I mean, this guy is an interesting character, and he's saying some stuff. I forget actually all the stuff that he was saying. He was saying all sort of stuff, and it was perking my ears up. It was perking my ears up the way, like, for example, when Aaron Rodgers came on to the Joe Rogan Experience, which, I'm sorry that I'm going off on so many asides, but that was an epic moment as well, in which everybody's, undercarriages were all tingling, getting all tingly, listening to Aaron Rodgers say all sort of stuff. This is back a month or two ago, saying all sort of stuff, just dropping truth bombs, basically, if you will, showering us down with some truth bombs, in which we already kind of know, or maybe we knew, or maybe we had a notion, but we didn't exactly hear it. We wanted to hear it. We wanted to be showered. We wanted a golden shower upon us of truth bombs to trickle down upon us. All right. I kind of got that feeling with our man Pascal there for a second, for a little while. Like I said, it was kind of a long interview, but it was at the end of this interview, and that's what we're going to play right now. It was at the end of this interview where stuff similar to Yay, where stuff truly goes off the rails, goes way off the rails, way off in the left field. And, I have my theories about it. We'll talk about it at the end, because I'm a conspiracy theorist. So at the end, I'm going to have my theories about it, and we might discuss real briefly. But it goes off so wild that, and it's a very rare kind of occasion when Alex Jones has to cut the interview short and immediately call you a nut job. All right, and that's exactly what happened. So check this out. This guy's the name. His name is Pascal Najadi, and this is the end of the interview. This is after like 20, 30 minutes of intriguing, fascinating dialogue between these two gentlemen, in which nothing very off-putting has happened at all during the whole interview. So let me just go ahead and play the end of the interview.
It's not Elon Musk anymore, isn't it? Macron. This is not Macron. Look at the official pictures of the Elysee. It's not Macron anymore. Gone. Was the US military and 30 military forces without their leaders are under the control and command of the United States. US Space Force coordinating.
So you're saying this is like huge stuff. You're saying there's been against the globalists?
I don't know. Excuse me. How many fighter jets does Klaus Schwab command, or some Elon Musk or some Bezos? Any warships?
None.
Finished. The problem was the satanic globalists, Vatican, Israel, the Zionists. It's been handled.
Well, what do you make of Elon Musk? Because he's certainly turned against the globalists. He thinks they're done.
No, that's not Elon Musk anymore. Not Elon Musk. He's gone. Elon Musk, fake news. Elon Musk told people we go to Mars. Think. See that rocket ship, that piece of metal, with additional so-called rocket fuel? You want to go on a 7-month voyage? It's all fake news. The moon landing was fake. We know it now, of course. President Kennedy got wind that they were lying to him, and Kennedy's alive. Q, actually, alive. And John JFK Jr. is alive too. He's the best friend of our current wartime president. The system was rigged hundreds of years already. NASA in Hebrew means to deceive. It's all there. You guys had a solar eclipse. Everybody saw it, right? In Dallas, there was the shadow. Yeah,
Pascal, Najadi, I got to say this. Your dad was a founding member. We looked it up. These amazing, informative videos. You are now saying stuff. I just, we don't have the evidence of.
Evidence. Sorry, the war is on. You go to the congressional website, please.
Congress just spent $23 billion to Israel. What do you mean, Israel?
That's a show. A show. Ukraine, corona labs, pathogens that you have in your bodies developed in Ukraine and Wuhan. Fauci and Baric in 2012 already, and then Ukraine, 140 labs were there with this corona stuff.
Oh, yeah, no, that's true. I'm just saying Elon Musk has been killed and is a fake.
It's gone. But look at the photos. Please look at the photos of the dude. It's not Elon Musk anymore. It's not.
Oh, where's Hillary Clinton?
Gone. I just published. She's gone. I even published the execution at Guantanamo Bay. Gone. She was executed.
Oh, you have a photo of her being executed.
My video. It's coming out tonight on Rumble. I have all the photos of the people executed. Obama, Clinton, Joe Biden, traitors, Clinton. Okay, here's the deal for you, Alex. 2016 had an election, and the Clintons wanted to steal it with the deep state. They wanted to kill us earlier with COVID, by the way. But thanks to Julian Assange and WikiLeaks and the US military intelligence and Bill Flynn and special operations, were able to make a counter coup against Hillary Clinton and catch her. Caught her red-handed, and President Trump said it. We caught them all red-handed. Obama knew it. Clinton knew it. Biden knew it.
Well, I agree with you. The globalist power structure is falling. You can see that everywhere. I get nothing.
Not falling. They're gone.
But
Klaus Schwab is gone. Executed. Delta forces took him out. It's military coordinated. Swiss territory is under full control of the United States military right now as we speak.
While other networks lie to you about what's happening now, in InfoWars tells you the truth about what's happening next. Visit Infowars.com/show and share the link to the
I'm gonna go ahead and pause it. Pause it right quick. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you caught it so good because the speaker that I have set up, I want to acknowledge that it has pretty good audio, but the first syllables sometimes with certain words will get cut out, making it a little bit hard to even understand if you missed any of it. I can assure you that our man Pascal, some guy who we just barely heard of, he was talking about like stuff that I've heard before. Here's the thing: everybody's heard it. Some people believe it, which is awesome. For people to believe whatever they like. But if you didn't hear it, he's going off and just naming names, all sort of people, like Biden, for example, Macron over there in France, even Obama. I don't know if it means Macron's wife, who Candace Owens called out as a man. She put her career or her reputation on the line, and I think nobody really cared. And that's what's interesting is you really can make those statements. And I don't know. I think people just ignore it. It's 2024. You can make wildest statements sometimes at certain times. Apparently, you can call everybody a man. Everybody is a man. But and everybody was taken out. Like, well, have you heard all the people he was talking about? Hillary Clinton was taken out, executed at Guantanamo Bay and stuff. The Pope, he said. Alex Jones even asked him. He said, "What about the Pope?" He said, "Yep, took the Pope out, took Klaus Schwab out, took Elon Musk out." Said all these people have been taken out. The thing is, I'm not so shocked to hear this because I have heard these things before. Maybe not all those names all at one time, but I'm sure I've heard multiple of those names. Oh, these people. Oh, Q. Oh, Justin the Plane. 4 or 5D chess. Donald Trump behind the scenes. He's like a behind the scenes president, pulling on his hair puppet strings and stuff like that. I've heard a lot of things, but I also have heard like that line of reasoning or that theory, if you will. Hold on, let me turn off this speaker. We might turn it back on later, but it's very disturbing when it turns itself off. Sounds like a mountain lion, and it'll blow out your eardrums probably, especially if you're listening with headphones. And we're gonna work on that, man. Technical difficulty is terrible. It's ridiculous. But actually, we might turn it back on here in a little while in order to maybe play a little bit more, because that's where the clip kind of cut off at. And then now, traditionally, the rest of the video clip will be the entire interview, in which what we saw was what we saw and heard was at the very, very end. Except Alex Jones. I did want to get and see if it's in the video clip, because basically I remember, as I recall, Alex Jones basically having to cut this interview off, man. He just couldn't take no more. And then as soon as he cut it off, and I mean, this is saying something for all the trash that people were talking about Alex Jones. Like, Alex Jones had to hang up and immediately say, you know what, sometimes people crack under the pressure or something, but this guy was saying nutballs out of this world stuff that's just completely untrue. And he's lost the plot, if you will. So I know that there's a lot of people out there who are going to feel different sort of various ways about that. And some people might look at Pascal, Najadi, and they might say, "Oh man, he's lost it. Maybe he's under all sort of pressure and stuff like that. There would be the conspiracy theory right now that maybe this is like an impersonator. I mean it. Maybe he's a really good one because maybe at the end he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna impersonate this guy," but at the end I'm gonna just say some like crazy stuff. He's hired by the government or some sort of government. I don't know. That's gotta be looked into more probably. And the thing is, I wouldn't say that about guests necessarily, but I mean, this is. I gotta tell you, that interview really, really just took a turn at the end, a mad turn, and you didn't really see it coming. Like if you're interviewing David Icke, for example, you're gonna you're gonna expect all the plot twists. Man, not to say that he's tripping, but you're gonna expect to hear some stuff you weren't ready to hear when you're interviewing a David Icke type of character. So, gosh, man, it's interesting. And then some people would look at Alex Jones, for example, in this situation and say, Alex, you're being all naive, Some people, and there's gonna be all sort of people all throughout the spectrum on this particular incident or this kind of incident taking place. These stereotypes or prototypes of people say, Jones, you're the one slipping and tripping because you're, for whatever reason, you're trying to deny that all these people who's been mentioned, Obama, Hillary Clinton, Biden, the Pope, Elon Musk, and the list goes on and on. You're tripping to think that they haven't all been executed somewhere by like some military forces, taken somewhere and kidnapped and executed, and then had their clone who was on standby just ready to. Of course they did. Of course they do. When Alex Jones is over here and he wants to be a little child and pretend like they can't just get rid of it. And that's what he described. And that's not the first time I've heard this sort of stuff. And people will look at me and they would say, "Oh, what Gerard? You're in the cult of Alex Jones." That's what they would say. I know it. From both sides, I'd be getting it. Pause. It's like they'd be like, "Oh, you don't believe that all these people got taken out all in secret? What you don't think is possible? Of course, it's possible. You're talking about entities with an unlimited amount of funds and resources. You're talking about my military with all sort of secretive operations. Of course, it's possible." They would say, and I'm not going to say that it's not possible. All right. Because I don't know that it's not possible that you couldn't disappear Obama, disappear Hillary Clinton. And I don't wish for any of this to happen, by the way. I hope that's clear on YouTube. Disappear the Pope, disappear Joe Biden, disappear everybody. I'm not saying it's not possible, and then replace them with clones that look like them, but not exactly like them. To the point is that people notice differences in the photos, and people are always like, "Oh, this ain't Joe Biden. This is an Elon Musk." Elon Musk is actually a woman, but except also he's been eliminated, and also it's a clone. They replaced him with a clone, but the clone is also a woman who had to transition in order. And it's just like, I don't want to close the door and I don't want to say, "Hey, this world's not whimsical." It is. And things beyond my imagination certainly do happen in the world. I'm not going to put that past nobody. But I don't think so. I'm going to have to stand firm on that until, further notice, basically, until it's really sunk into me because I haven't seen the evidence. And that's the thing what I gotta put out the most is that people they might really because you don't know what everybody's learned. You don't know why people have come to the conclusions that they've had. So people might look at me and say, like how are you so confident? How can you sit there in your poor little situation? How are you gonna sit there and tell us that you know that Obama and everybody else has not been whisked off to Guantanamo Bay, in which they were summarily deleted? How are you gonna tell us that? It's like I can't prove nothing to nobody. I'm not gonna change anybody's mind, and I'm not setting out to. But it's definitely crucial that people discuss these sort of things. In the times that we're in, it's World War III. We're in it, right? So it's important that people get an avenue, many avenues, many platforms, many, many, many. It's never enough, actually, platforms for people to listen to us talking about such things. And I think it'll be especially crucial to address these sort of matters, especially here on the onset, I guess, if you would say that the onset of World War III. We've been in it for a while, so I don't know. I don't know what you would call it. So, but here's the evidence. Okay, so I'm evidence based, right? And perhaps you're evidence based out there. Perhaps there's a hypothetical person out there on the other side of the screen. They're evidence based as well, and they've seen all the evidence to point to be very sure of themselves that all been taken out, replaced by clones. The clones don't have no genders, and this stuff's gotten wild and out of control. In many ways, I would agree that it has gone wild and out of control. And I'd definitely be willing to accept that there's probably celebrities and public figures who are out there and they're transgendered. All right, nobody knows it, or except everybody knows it now. It's real briefly, although it's a side topic. I believe, from what I've seen, from the little that I've looked into, that most people who are accused, mostly celebrities, who are accused of being the opposite gender, most of them, they are not the opposite gender. People are slipping and tripping. Photos are a weird thing. Photos get edited and stuff these days as well, but people sometimes you take photos and weird things happen, all right? And I know it's like a very vague way to put it, but sometimes people look different. Sometimes I look different and stuff. There'll be little things. And of course, there's certain features on you that are not really supposed to change very much. All right, but I haven't seen sufficient evidence, right? Like, I know Pascal Najadi, he said that, like, over on his YouTube channel or whatever he's on Instagram, he said that he's going to have these proofs. He said, for example, that he had like a picture as one example of Hillary Clinton before she's going to be executed or something. Like, who's taking these pictures? All right. So and even if you were to see pictures, oh yeah, I'm sure it's going to be in high definition. You're going to see it's Hillary Clinton, that's for sure. And oh, everybody's going to be like cool with the pictures being taken. Like, none of it makes sense. And that's what I got to point out, and that's my evidence because I haven't seen no good evidence. I'm sure there's going to be photos or something, and I'm not going to find that to be good enough. And people are going to turn around and look at me and say, "What? I can't believe you're denying reality." And that's just, I guess, the way things go. I wanted to point it out. I don't think it's going to change, but I guess that's the way things go. People are going to look at me and say, oh, you're denying reality. Of course, all these people have been replaced, right? That's the system that they got in place and stuff. What I have pointed out before, and I wanted to point it out right now, and something to maybe dwell upon. I thought it would be important to dwell upon as we ease our nice and gently until World War III. Is that, it's probably not so important whether or not you and me or the third person agree as to whether or not certain people have got secretly disappeared and replaced. Now, that might come to be an issue, perhaps in certain situations. That might be a deal breaker, okay, in certain situations. But in certain situations, I hope that it's not. I hope that it's not a deal breaker. I hope that people will definitely come together and work together, even if they don't agree. Even if, like, say, I'm over here and I don't believe that everybody was rounded up in secret and taken to Guantanamo Bay. I don't believe that. And I don't believe that they're deleted and then replaced. That might have happened once or twice. But has it happened now with all these people that are mentioned? No, it has not. I'm going to say it's not. And then people might ask, well, where's my evidence? Where's my evidence? I don't really have no evidence. But what I can say is just the nature of the world. See, the problem is, okay, what evidence that I have to go upon is the nature of the world and then human nature, right? It's very synergistic and almost identical, if you will. It's like to really take that in, because here's the thing. Although there might be evidence to sway a person into believing that all these various people have been swept away, and I'm sure it wouldn't just be them. Of course, it'd be more and more different other people who we don't know about who got all kidnapped, disappeared. Um, the thing is, what people, they might see that little bit of evidence and be convinced, and it might be convincing evidence. But what I got to just interject is what I believe that lots of times what these people are forgetting is that although false flags exist and although there are conspiracies and they happen all the time, I'm sure that they do, this sort of level of orchestration is just almost beyond what we could imagine. It's such a high level of organization. Now, one person, that's going to be tough. One person, going to be done. Yeah, probably. Yeah, it could be done. All these people, and I'm guessing all systematically, because in the plan or whatever, in the story, how it went is that Donald Trump is running everything behind the scenes while pretending to get sued out of his ass by New York City. So, but that's all a show. That's all theatrics. It's behind the scenes, in which Donald Trump has many months ago got in the military. See, oh my gosh! I mean, it's so overwhelming to think about. Let's say that this is all true. Think about it in our heads. How this is all playing. How this is all playing out. This is all true, and this all happened. So Donald Trump, for I don't know, like years now, has gotten Biden out of the way, got Hillary out of the way, got Obama out of the way, replaced them with clones, and there's more people too. to include Macron for some reason, got him out of the way. And I would assume Trudeau got him out of the way. And the list goes on and on. Elon Musk got him out of the way. I'm not sure why. But I guess he just couldn't afford to be there. So Donald Trump's running all this. Of course, Donald Trump is not sneaking into bedrooms at night and choking people to death to their deletion. He's not doing that. So obviously, you would assume Donald Trump. It's safe to assume Donald Trump is getting somebody else to do this. And I guess you would assume it's a military, some sort of military, maybe secret operations unit. Took him to the side and say, "Look, I got secrets. Don't tell nobody. I want you to do this secret thing." Yeah. So Donald Trump did that. He got these various people disappeared and replaced by clones. Got the military to do it. But of course, only certain people in the military. How many people does it take? I don't know. I mean, was it all like, did he get, say, for hypothetically, he hires 2 people in the military and those 2 people run around and they're disappearing people one by one? Like, really, how does this happen? I want a real explanation. I mean, people want to say, oh, this happened. Oh, it's people run around, and that Pascal guy, he might have been an imitator, all we know. But I'm saying there are people running around claiming this 5D trust the plan, Donald Trump, behind the scenes stuff. They are saying it. I hear them saying it. I hear some of y'all out there saying it. But that's what I wanted, just to throw it out there. Just something to think about. The amount of orchestration that it would take place. And the thing is about Earth is like, man, things leak. Things leak. All right. And certain things have leaked and leaked a long time ago. And it's such secretive information that it never quite makes it down to these little people. Not officially. We don't know for sure some of these things that leak, but things do leak. If you think that Donald Trump can somehow pull all of this off and disappear all these people, and whatever people in the government he hasn't disappeared, those people he's got it to where they don't know that all this happened. So the people that they work with, these people who are disappeared, the people they're used to seeing a lot, they all had to get fooled. They all have to get fooled into thinking that was the original person. Donald Trump has to order all these clones and tell them what to do. All right, Obama and all the rest. Elon Musk, he's got to clone Elon how to run all the 12,000 businesses he runs. He's got to tell clone Hillary what to do. He's got to. You think there's that much time in the day that Donald Trump's really calling the shots for all these clones and quarterbacking all that? Got everybody disappeared. He's secretly running the government, right? But on top of that, he's running it into the mother effing ground right now. But it's like, that's part of the plan. That's what people are like, oh, trust the plan because he got rid of all them. And it's a secret. He's going to unveil it here pretty soon to let us know that a JFK and RFK, they're really actually alive. All right. Or I don't remember if it was JFK or RFK Jr. RFK Jr. is alive. Or JFK Jr. I don't know. Maybe they're all alive. Right? So that's what Pascal said. So Donald Trump's orchestrating every little last bit of this. And furthermore, it just goes on because all these politicians who may or may not have family members, all their family members had no idea that this happened, that they've been replaced by a clone. Oh no, like Donald Trump came to every single family and said, listen, y'all all shut your mouths. I took out your whatever, your loved one. I replaced them with a clone. Now there's a clone in there. Now that clone's going to do whatever they want to. They're going to listen to my orders because I'm Donald Trump. You shut your mouth. It's like, dude, this goes on and on and on. And all this has to be true. Someone has to silence everybody's families. Somebody has to silence everybody in the military who's being used for these operations. Somebody's got to silence whoever is taking the photos of Hillary Clinton at Guantanamo Bay. Got to silence him, and all this has got to be so silenced, and nobody knows in this world that this is happening, except for we got see, like it's insane. It really is so much collaboration that has to be done in order to even close to pull it off. It's not possible. And I guess, just to close out that topic, it's like, logistically, it's so improbable that you basically call it impossible. It's close to impossible for this to even be executed according to plan. I'm like, no, it's not going to happen. But here's the thing. On top of that, like I was saying, so Donald Trump, his super genius plan is to continue to dive us as a country into poverty. As we're feeling it, we're feeling all the poverty that we're getting into. In order to like save us later, in order to have some sort of like spectacular election later and come through and save us. How does that make any sense? And then if that was all planned that Donald Trump's going to come save us, that should piss you off, right? Shouldn't it? Shouldn't it make you very mad that Donald Trump purposefully is running the whole world, micromanaging the whole world, and also making sure that you still go into poverty just to make sure, because it's all like a show to you to make you into poverty. Not only are you in poverty, but the southern border is wide open, and that's not like a joke or theatrics. It's like, oh, well, Donald Trump made sure to make sure that the border is completely wide open and everybody is surging across. It's part of the plan. It's part of the plan. And so, as whimsical as this world is, as fantastical as certain things are going to be, I think it's important to address that. It's like there's logistical problems to that, all right? And I feel like if we all sit back, and for example, consider ourselves like detectives, or kind of carry ourselves as authorities, because since before we were born, we've had outlets out there trying to tell us this, trying to tell us that. Now that we live in the future, we have all sort of entities trying to tell us, oh, this happened, that happened, this and that happened. And I think now more than even ever in our history, in our written history, I think it's important to say, F all that, dude. If you don't prove, you must prove everything to me. And I don't care if you like me or if I like you, you're going to say something and I'm going to tell you it's retarded, right? And the reason I might tell you it's retarded is not to put a rift between us forever and ever, because teamwork might be a very good idea. I'm hearing some sort of like weird commercial in the background. I don't know where it's coming. Very distracting. Yeah, I might find out about it here in a second, but it's very distracting. I feel like it's coming from my room, and I have no idea what it would be. There's a ghost in my room. Hold on, y'all. That's gonna freak me out. I'm gonna go find out what it is. I'll be right back. I'm gonna take my machete with me. Um, that's from my roommate. You know, the thing is, I should have figured. See, it's like this effeminate, like British accent. I just can't take it. It's like when stereotypical British people start talking about whatever it is they talk about, I just can't take it. Just can't take it. So I had to get rid of it, close the window. That's been resolved. But like I was saying, okay, I think it'll be very important as we head headlong into the mucky muck. World War III is not like some joke I made up, right? And so very serious things will come across our plate, and people will make very serious allegations and make very, very scintillating claims. And I've just got to let everybody know, for whatever it's worth, I'm not moved, and I won't be moved. All right. And I still, it's like I don't even care, dude. It's like I don't know how to explain it exactly. It's like I don't even care, dude. Right? Because I can't really prove all these wild things coming across my desk or disprove them. I'm just saying it's like the amount of effort. And people can never properly explain to me the amount of effort, how like it's possible, because they'll just start going around and talking about pictures of Guantanamo Bay and stuff like that. All right. Um, I figured this would be kind of the end of the broadcast, which is about the right time, actually. So we got good timing. And I just wanted to kind of break stuff down, like on a personal note. I basically call this particular broadcast practice, if you will. I mean, I've done this before, but I decided in my mind earlier that I would go ahead and start to attempt to try to do this thing, what I'm doing right now, every day. Every day. I know nobody should believe me when I say that. I know my reputation. I'll say things and then perhaps not follow through with those things that I said, especially in regards to the internet, in regards to streaming and stuff. And I know that's a fact. I know that's a fact. But here's the deal. And I was thinking about it earlier. In the spirit of it being World War III, and it is. It's like, wow, it's such interesting and amazing times, World War III, as well as the end. And I'm not saying here soon, I'm saying now. Now. We're experiencing the end. And for how long, I don't know exactly, but we're experiencing the tail end of society. All right. Society. And you know what? Shout out to those fellas out there who's lighting themselves on fire for this and that reason. As I've stated before, I wouldn't light myself on fire. I don't think anybody should light themselves on fire. I'm not advocating for violence to yourself or to others. All right, because I don't feel like that's productive at all. And we're in such crazy times. And I'm sure that's how the media works. Is if we're out here discussing even certain kind of things like this, it's very reasonable to discuss them and get to the bottom of them. But we're in such times in which we're going to be accused of wanting to light ourselves on fire. It's like, dude, I can't even believe I'm saying these words. It's like, dude, people are gonna start to accuse us or me and you of wanting to light ourselves on fire. And it's like we might as well like go around and introduce ourselves and have a t-shirt and everything that says, look, I am not fixing to light myself or anybody else on fire simply because I don't trust the government. All right. Because apparently that's like the lesson to be learned, right? From the most previous person who lit himself on fire. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right. But see, I want to be adamant about saying don't do that. Please don't do that because it's not constructive. And if anything, it's destructive to more people than just you. I mean, you're lighting yourself on fire, right? And that's dumb. And you're going to realize how dumb it is. And then you're going to probably die, but it's going to probably take you a long time to die, just so that you know. You're probably going to sit there in a crispy, crisp, and wait for death. And hopefully you're just not feeling it, but you'll be waiting for death. Don't do that because that sounds bad. And then also, if anybody see, here's the thing about it: if you have any good qualities at all, somebody else is going to find out about you and your good qualities. And if you have any of them, and they're going to light themselves on fire, dude. I swear to God, they're going to. This lighting yourself on fire thing is contagious. And I, for one, do not plan to be doing it. And no, I do not think it's like a efficient way of protesting or getting anything done. You're not going to get nothing done. You're going to light yourself on fire. They're going to name a street after you somewhere in Saudi Arabia. I don't know. But who cares? Or in Palestine, I guess, probably. All right. So, but okay, now that I mentioned that, it is the end, and I can't mince words. Like, if I did mince words, I'd be hiding something from you or like holding back from you, if you will. Of course, it's the end. This is the end, and it's kind of scary, of course, because we don't know about. Okay, it's the end. We don't know like all what everything is going to be just gone forever, right? Out of our lifestyles. But I would assume a whole bunch, like the majority of the stuff that we kind of know in our lifestyles, gone. Gonna be gone. That's the end. Am I very well prepared for that? No. All right. And I would assume none of us are really well prepared for that. And I am of the belief that after the end, for however long of a period of time that takes, after that, what you'll have inevitably is the beginning. And of course, there could be the option of dystopia and getting into absolute rampant slavery everywhere. And it'll be the beginning of that. Okay. Or it could be, and it could possibly still be, I think, the beginning of a world of freedom and success in which we never ever seen before. Like our lifestyle will change in such ways that we never dreamed, but however, in really good and successful ways. I think it'd be the beginning and the end of how of everything that we know, how we know it, real soon, real soon. It's terrifying. It should be terrifying. Like, I'm hearing various people who I've heard for years who are speaking. I mean, should I even name names? I mean, they're all speaking at fevered pitches, and they're all saying that the end, or like it's really, really, really bad, right? Worse than we even know. That kind of reminds me of this note, and I'm going to look it up because I had heard about it earlier. I don't know if we'll be able to find it right now. But it was a note, gosh. Let me see if I could find it here in the news. The note was in regards to a famous drill rapper. So actually one of my personal, I guess if you call it, one of my personal favorite drill rapper. Okay, so I'm seeing videos pertaining to the Instagram post. I believe it was a post on Instagram. All right, there's videos of it. And there's also like copies of it. This is on the A Flock official Instagram. And I guess on Instagram, if you wanted to see it, I'm sure you don't, but it's called Official K Flocka on Instagram. And the reason I bring it up is because earlier today I was hearing him talking about the end of days. And the Instagram post that he had posted up, it was in regards to the end of days. I'm seeing if I can like actually pull up an image of it outside of Instagram in order to be able to read it. I don't know if that's possible. We might not be able to do that. We might say that for another time. All right, well, you could go ahead and check that out on your own if you wanted to. I'm not sure why you'd want to, but a drill rapper by the name of K Flock. He's actually in prison right now, and he might be in prison a while. And I'm wishing him the best. All right, I don't know exactly what's happened in his life, but the thing is, he came out on the Instagram and it was just this long, rambling note that he wrote from prison, and it was talking about the end of days. It was talking about all the things that we talk about, that sort of thing, that like, oh, dang, dude, they're out to get us, they're out to kill us, they're out to erase us, and it's the end of days. Oh my God, I'm freaking out. It's like K Flock doesn't, he, as a drill rapper, and most of them don't, he doesn't rap about the end of days. He doesn't rap about like the signs and this and that, about society collapsing and stuff. But it's like all of these people out here who you may not know it, but they're very aware it's the end of the days. All right. So many people out here who do what they do and stuff, and maybe even do it real good, maybe even do it great. And they're out there and they still, even though they're doing world class work and stuff like that, they might also know it's the end of days, dude. It's the end of days. And still they have the conviction to try very hard. And I want to wish that upon us, that kind of conviction on myself. I got a machete, right here, it's ready. To me, it's the end. It's pretty well obvious. And so since it's the end, and I don't mean 20 years from now, I don't mean 2 years from now. I don't have any idea what's going to happen at the end of this year. How about that? I got a machete, and that's all I know. So it seems to me, and as I've stated before, if I know it's the end of days, then I might as well go real hard, real hard. Pause. But for example, like if it wasn't the end of days, imagine this was the 50s or the 60s or the 70s or the 80s or the 90s or whatever. Imagine it was not the end of days. Then a guy like myself, I gotta say, it'd be real likely that I would just have a job. I'd maybe get 2 jobs. I'd save my money up. I'd have this and that, and I'd just kind of like take it easy, and I wouldn't do too much, probably. Right. But it's not that. It's the end of days, right? It's nothing like that. So if I try to do the same kind of thing, like if I was to try to have one job and just kind of take it easy and like, oh, I don't know, I want to save some money and stuff, I go ahead and I get a second job, part-time job, and then I just kind of do those things, and I like mosey around, and I find myself into a better job and eventually save some money and buy a house and stuff. That'd be all right. And people have done it just like that for a long time. Not possible now. It's not even close to possible. You could have two jobs and not pay your bills just like me. Like it's like it's not feasible. It's not reasonable to think I could even just have two regular jobs and be able to pay bills off, right? And in such a time in which that's what I gotta stress. Is like, dude, this is the end. And people out here like myself, we're kind of designed to be worried about paying off this and that bill or taking care of this or making sure we have like a roof over our head or making sure that we have money to eat food later and stuff like that. Because that's what makes us comfortable. I have all those things. I live in a room that I'm paying for, automobile, alternative transportation, this and that. But it's definitely going down in quality as time goes down, and you can't build off it. Can't build off it. So obviously, it would make sense to get a better job. In which that's an idea. It's a good idea to get a better paying job. All right, but an even better idea. I was thinking to myself. I was having upon myself this idea earlier, in which is to go hard. I've been talking about this for a while, but it's like, dude, to go hard in such a way that it's like the final. It's like, for example, if you're running a race around a track, there's a final stretch. You might run it even harder than you ran the rest of the race. Real hard. Real hard. It might be a good idea to just go hard, right? Because as Donald Trump said a long time ago, what do you have to lose? Now, like I stated before, for decades now, what you have to lose is everything. What you have to lose is a nice little house that you bought for yourself. What you have to lose is perhaps creating a family and stuff and having like this nuclear family. You have that to lose. In this day, I ain't got that to lose. There's plenty of folks out there who they don't got that to lose. They already lost it. Right? So since it is such a small amount of time, it seems to me that we might as well all wow out. Seems to me even more so than it's always been the case, but it's always been the case. And it's even more so now to follow your freaking dreams, all right? Because living mediocre is damn near impossible at this point, anyways. So what I figured out about myself is that, and I only figured it out recently, and I wonder if this is what everybody figures out about themselves, or if I imagine maybe it's kind of rare. I wonder how many people, I wonder if people would figure this out about me, but it never really dawned on me personally, is that, I'm kind of like autistic, all right? I'm like quirky in a sense. I don't know if that's the explanation for it, or if just happens to a lot of people. What I noticed about me quite truly is that, and maybe it's the same for some of y'all out there, is that if I don't do something every day, I have to do it every day, then I'm not even going to do it at all. And I think this has dawned on me before, but it never really sunk in. Because I'm of this like mindset that, oh, I'll do this. Oh, I'll get around to doing this. Oh, on that day over there, I'll do this and I'll be able to get that done on that day and stuff like that. Constantly always running out of time. and like scrambling to get stuff together when you're out, say, working and spending all your time out working. Perhaps your own stuff, like my stuff, will get all out of order. And that's a lifestyle, and it's hard to keep it all together. All right. It's a struggle to keep it all together. And it is a struggle. And perhaps none of it is necessary. I mean, yeah, there was some sort of benefit to being just some sort of guy, some regular guy for a while now. That benefit's gone. That regular guy benefit been gone. And it's like I'm realizing to myself that, okay, whatever it is I do, this is something about me is that I had to do it. Whatever I do, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it a lot. I'm going to get it way into it. I'm going to dive headlong into it. And if I don't do it, if I don't do it today, I'm never going to do it. I'm never, ever going to do this thing. It's like, okay, for example, if I say, hey, I'm going to live stream on Thursday, I'm not going to do that. If I say I'm going to live stream tomorrow, no, I'm not. It's got to be every single day. That's what I've noticed. And perhaps it's very fitting for this time. Perhaps I should have known this about myself this whole time. But it's all kind of making sense to me now. All right, mathematically. If I don't do it every day, it's not never going to get done. So, for example, and shout out to Fresh and Fit. I was listening to them right before the broadcast, and we're going in extra time right now. So I'm going to get up out of here real quick. But for example, live streaming every day. Not this long. I'm going to cut it a little bit shorter, but live streaming every day. Why? Because I had to do it every day, or I'm not going to do it. I had to live stream every day. If I miss a day, that's like making it more easier for me to just not do it ever again. Here's the thing. Live streaming on YouTube is fairly feasible right now because I've been doing it. Right, it's kind of easy, it's kind of streamlined, can get it done without too much grief. So that is the plan. Live stream on YouTube. They could ban us at any sort of particular time. All right, and I'll go ahead and I'll make it repetitive and redundant. But there's a Rumble channel. I'm still paying StreamYard Premium so that I can live stream on Rumble. However, that's not really the place to do it. You can't really gain an audience on Rumble like you can on YouTube, especially if you're consistent on YouTube. And it's not rocket science. You have to be consistent in order to build an audience. I've never been consistent. And so it kind of makes sense that there's no audience, all right? It's time to be consistent. Why? Because this is the end. Get up out of here. But that's the theme from here to the end. We're at the end. This is the end. Anybody who's operating, go for it. I mean, I hope that everybody lives their lives to the fullest. But however, this is the end. So it's like even more reason to do so. And perhaps if you're like me, you have to find out what you really want to do. And what you really want to do, you'd have to be able to do it every single day. How's that possible? You know? You got to figure out what can you do, what you want to do, what you want to do it every day in order for success. All right. And that might not be an answer to how I'm going to get my bills paid. That might not be an adequate answer to how to make sure I put food in my possession. That might not be an adequate answer. But I know for sure, shout out to Fresh and Fit, like I said before the broadcast, they were talking about, hey man, if you want a change to happen, you have to fucking change, buddy. And they're not the first. They're not geniuses. I mean, that's obvious, but it bears repeating. So you have to change. You have to make this change in order to see it change. If you keep doing the same thing, then of course you're going to get the same results or even less good results. So that's what I decided. Right? And obviously, it's some sort of like a obligation to get better at it, right? Better presentation, better audio, and stuff like that. We're gonna have to figure that out. But in the meantime, no matter how whack the audio is, every day, every single day, going hard. It's World War III, and these people out here talking about, oh, you conspiracy theorists. Yes, I am, and you're a damn retard. And I'll holler at y'all later and stuff. I wish everybody the best, and I love y'all, and I love everybody. I'll holler at y'all a little bit later.